Good morning, dear children. We have started a new lesson, and our lesson is Rip and Winkle, and this is the 15th lesson of our textbook. Yesterday we have dealt with the introduction of Rip and Winkle, and we had also come across to know what kind of a person was Rip and Winkle and what he liked to do. And so today we are going to discuss in detail the story, what happened in Rip and Winkle's life, and the rest of the thing we'll be discussing today. So let's start the lesson. Rip and Winkle was a lazy man. He never liked to do work. He always liked to sleep. All the time he liked to sleep, and he would never ever go for work. And his mother used to insist him, "You Rip, please go for work. Go for work and do something and earn money." But he never liked to do it. He never liked to work. And one day what happened is unfortunately he had to go for a work, and there he had to come back from the work, because there also he was sleeping all the time and he didn't work at all. So he was asked to leave the job. And his mother kept on insisting him, go for work, but Rip never liked. So one day he was tired of his mom insisting him to go for work, and what he did is he decided to run away from his house. He took a dog as his companion, and also he had a gun with him, and it was a well-oiled gun. He took the gun with him, and he also had a companion, the dog, and he started his journey up the mountain. And he reached the top of the mountain, and he crossed a stream, and he found a place where nobody would come, so that he can rest for some time. And there he reached the top of the place, and he found a spot to sit, and he was panting. Like, panting means he was struggling for breath, because it feels like he had never walked this much. It was a lot of exercise for him, because he always liked to sleep. He didn't even like to do a little work. So he was panting for breath, because he walked from his village to the top of the mountain. So it was a lot of exercise for him, and he was panting for breath. And finally, as he was relaxing, he heard a voice, some voice, and it says that, he heard some voice, and he felt that it's strange, because nobody comes here, then how can somebody call me? And as he turned, he found a funny looking man. He was a dwarf, a small man. He was carrying a big barrel on his back. This funny looking man said, "Please help me carry this barrel, and my mates or friends are below the stream. They are there below the stream. So I want to take this barrel, and I have to reach below the stream." So at first Rip was little what to say, he really doesn't want to help, because somehow he reached from the village to the mountain top, and that too was a lot of exercise for him. And he could never ever think of carrying the barrel and for the old man and give it to the old man's friends. But later he thought, it's okay, I'll just help the poor chap, and he decided to take the barrel. And at first it was very heavy for him, but still he carried, and he went to the other side of the stream, and to the stream, below the stream. And when Rip and Winkle reached the place, he saw that there were other funny looking men, and all of them were playing the game called 9 pins. Okay, 9 pins is this game, and bowling. It's a kind of a bowling game. So in those days, people would call it as 9 pins. At first they ignored him, and as soon as Rip placed the barrel on the ground, all these funny looking men ran and they started to take the mug and they started to drink. And they pulled out the mug since they dipped it and they started to drink. So Rip and Winkle also thought, why can't I also? So he also dipped a mug and started to drink. At first he drank and then he liked the taste. So it was fun for him and he started to drink, and he had another mug, another mug, another mug, another and another, until he was swaying. Okay, he found that all the things were dancing before him. He drank that much. Finally, Rip and Winkle went to sleep. And he slept and he got up. After his sleep, he awoke. And he saw that all the funny looking men were gone. And he called his dog. He had a dog, right? And he called his dog. And his dog was also missing. And so after that, he saw the gun. But the gun was rusted. At first it was well oiled, but now it was rusted. So Rip was thinking, what happened to this? What happened to my... He thought that he is having in his mind that he's just slept for one day. So he was thinking, within one day, how can the gun become rusted? Until yesterday it was well oiled. And where are the funny looking guys? He didn't find any one of them. And his dog was also missing when he called. Finally, he threw it away and he started to come back to the village. And he saw the village. When he saw the village, it seemed that the village was totally changed. Okay, it was changed, and he saw that new people were looking at him. People were looking at him and he was also looking at them, because he found that he didn't even find anyone familiar. All of them were new faces. So to his astonishment, or to his surprise, he found that he also had a long-foot beard. The beard was so long. So he was thinking, within one day, how can these things change? The village changed. Yesterday he knew all the people of the village, but today he doesn't know anyone. And his beard also, within overnight, how can it change? How can it grow this much? So he was having a lot of questions and he was totally puzzled. And he found that the village was of mountains and streams, but now it was changed and the village was little different for him. And there was small children in the village, and these children started to make fun of him and they started to pull his beard, okay, because children found it very funny. Finally, Rip and Winkle stopped at a place, and in that place there was a school. So he went to the school and he asked the crowd. He saw a crowd there and he asked, where is Schooner? The schoolmaster. Where is the schoolmaster, Mr. Schooner? The people said that, oh, Schooner, he went to war in 63 and he never came back. So people were telling that it happened long before. Okay. So Rip was thinking, I'm not understanding anything. Rip was not at all understanding anything. What has happened within overnight? Okay. And then he asked, what about Van Dammel? It's another person, and the crowd said that he died 18 years back. So Rip was like, 18 years back? I just slept yesterday, and how can it be 18 years back? He was totally surprised to hear this. So he thought that had he slept all these years on the mountain, that is like 20-21 years, had he slept on the mountain alone? And how can somebody sleep such a long time? It is continuously for 20 or 21 years. He was having such kind of thoughts in his mind. finally he asked the question, does anyone remember a person named Rip and Winkle? So an old man, a very old woman, she came forward and she said that, yes, I know him. He was my son and he was too lazy. And before 21 years, he ran away from house and he went up the mountain and he never came back. His dog, he came back to the village, but Rip was missing. So the lady started to talk about her son. So Rip was listening to this and she could understand that it was his mother. And Rip shouted saying that, Mom, mother, I'm your son. It's me, Rip and Winkle. Don't you recognize me? Just look at me. Can't you recognize me? And Rip's mother was excited to see her son, because it was a long 21 years. And after seeing her son, so she was excited to see her son, and she asking, is it really you? Where have you been all this time? She was asking all these questions because 21 years, it's just gone, and she was searching for her son. And Rip was telling, Rip was speechless because he saw his mother after a long time. And what happened is, at the end of the story, the mother and son, they hugged each other because they have reunited after a long 21 years. And indeed, okay, and for Rip has slept for 21 years. Can you believe somebody who can sleep for such a long time? Can you sleep for such a long time? Never, right? So Rip and Winkle, he was such a lazy person that he would never ever work. And what happened is, he lost all his years in sleep. And finally, he got the chance to meet his mother. So this is the story, and I hope you like the story. And please read the lesson, children, and tomorrow we'll be reading the lesson together. And we have to look at the meanings of few words. As we come across, we have to know the meanings of few words which are new to us. So we'll be discussing that tomorrow. But I want each one of you to read the lesson today. And the rest of the exercises we'll be dealing in the coming days. So I hope you like the lesson. And this is for now. Bye.